Right, hello, Happy New Year. This is the first video of 2021. Yeah, I've been gone for a while, and what? What are you gonna do? Right, anyway, hello, welcome to the After Hours After Show, where we watch TV shows, films, whenever that stuff happens. We've only done one video on this before. It's been The Mandalorian Season 2, which I gave a 10, said a 9, but it's a 10. It's a 10 out of 10. So, today we're going to be going over the first 5 episodes of WandaVision because I've missed 5 episodes. 4 weekly drops, but 5 episodes. We're going to be going... Putting on the hat. My hair is really long, so forgive me for wearing a hat at night time. WandaVision. Let's go over episodes 1 and 2 really quick. I've got my phone here. Wanda and Vision are a newly wedded couple who move into their new suburban sitcom life. Episode 1 depicts Wanda and Vision preparing for a date that they don't know the purpose of. Turns out it's a dinner with Vision's boss. Wanda thinks it's their anniversary, and this leads them to scrambling to make a presentable dinner for Vision's boss, otherwise he loses his job. Episode 2 depicts a magic act that Wanda and Vision do for the town's talent show. Vision gets high on chewing gum, no word of a lie, high on chewing gum, not cap. Alright, shut up. Vision gets high on chewing gum, leading to Wanda trying to make Vision's powers look like a phony magic act. At the end of episode 2, a beekeeper crawls out of the drain and Wanda says no, and seemingly rewinds time to before he came out of it. They then transform into Technicolor, and Wanda turns out to be pregnant. Alright, episode 3 and 4. 3 is just a regular old episode of the WandaVision sitcom. Wanda is pregnant. She goes through her 9 months pregnancy in just 30 minutes. Geraldine helps her deliver the babies, and after reminiscing on her dead twin brother Pietro, Geraldine, being the lovely person she is, brings a Voltron. Wanda doesn't take too kindly to this and throws Geraldine out of Westview with the power of God. Episode 4 takes place completely outside of Westview. We see Monica Rambeau, the little girl from Captain Marvel, remember her, return from the snap in one of the coolest scenes in the entire MCU. Monica returns to S.W.O.R.D., which is like a knockoff S.H.I.E.L.D., and she meets the acting director, Tyler Hayward. I think that's his name. Monica returns to S.W.O.R.D. Monica is tasked with investigating a missing persons case with the god himself, Jimmy Woo, back from Ant-Man and the Wasp. He now knows the card trick that Ant-Man did in that film. Monica gets a little bit too close to the border of Westview and gets herself sucked into the Westview sitcom. And yeah, S.W.O.R.D. sets up shop around Westview and gets to work. Darcy Lewis returns, finally not being boring and annoying, and instead extremely useful and likeable. I actually like Darcy Lewis in this. After a really good episode, we see Wanda throw Geraldine out of Westview, and Monica rolls around on the floor saying, "It's all Wanda." Episode 5 synopsis is, we are back inside the Westview sitcom, WandaVision sitcom Poggers. Wanda and Vision now have babies, and after a brief encounter with Agnes, the twins grow up. They find a dog, they grow up again, and then whilst in work, Vision's computer receives a message from S.W.O.R.D., and all the workers recite it together really creepily, and all except Vision laugh it off. Vision awakens Norm, who is one of the characters inside the sitcom, which seemingly reveals that Wanda is controlling them all, but I'll get a little bit back to that later. The dog dies, and they all return home. Vision confronts Wanda on a lot of the things going on in Westview, the creepy stuff, including why are there no other children in Westview except Billy and Tommy, who will one day hopefully grow up to be Wiccan and Speed, mutants. But Vision has seemed to come to the conclusion that Wanda is behind it all. There is a knock at the door, and boom, Evan Peters is back as Quicksilver, which is pretty pog champ if you ask me. We'll get a little bit more to that later. What we know, we don't know much, but we know this. This show is wild. Wanda has a part in all this, whether she's fully in control or not. Once again, we'll back to that later. We are definitely seeing the reanimated corpse of Vision in some way. And now on to the WTF questions and theories. Evan Peters is the X-Men Quicksilver, so why is he here? I think that this is the MCU's way of bringing in this Quicksilver into the MCU. Personally, myself and a lot of other people prefer Evan Peters' Quicksilver to the other one from the MCU. I can't remember the guy's name. Aaron Taylor Johnson, maybe. I'm not 100% sure how he is here, but I think it's a case of Marvel preferred him and brought him over. But I'll explain potentially narrative-wise a little bit later. Is Wanda the big bad? Whilst we are being led to believe at the current moment that she is, I don't think so. Wanda is not mentally stable in this story. This story is very House of M from the comics, if you're familiar with that. If you're not, I'll probably explain a little bit in a bit. I believe that Wanda is losing control of her powers and maybe creating stuff in this pocket world without her knowing she's doing it. Also, I believe she is being controlled by something very powerful, this person, I believe, to be Mephisto and Agnes. I think they're working together to mess with our girl Wanda. I mainly believe that this isn't all Wanda because she can't seem to remember making this place, and she has no memory of the outside world until Geraldine mentioned Ultron. I think that's the case. I think Geraldine mentioned Ultron, and then all of Wanda's memories came back, and then she was like, oh yeah, this happened. This is how I'm here. This is what I'm doing. Only little bits of it, though. She doesn't know the full narrative yet, I don't think. What I think happened is Wanda struck a deal with the devil, Mephisto, for the power to bring Vision back to life, and the life she's always wanted. In exchange, he gets to drain her powers piece by piece for his evil little plan. Also, when Vision awakens, Norm constantly mentions a she, and you never know, that she could be Agnes, and not Wanda. Monica also said Wanda's voice was in her head, but that could also be Mephisto or Agnes putting on her voice to convince the town of Westview that Wanda is behind it all. Okay, how is Evan Peters Quicksilver here? Big news, guys. This is the first mutant in the MCU, and it is the one of the other Fox X-Men movies, and here's the proof. Alright, let me get my phone. Oh, Siri, I'm talking to you, bro. Just took a screenshot. If we go to Disney Plus on my phone, and go to the scene where Quicksilver comes back, Pietro. The audio description, okay? So it describes what we're seeing, and I thought it would describe a recast Pietro stands at the door. Nope.
Wanda, who is this?
Seen from behind, a man with bleached blonde hair stands on their front step. At her workstation, Darcy's mouth falls open. In Westview, Wanda stares at the version of Pietro from the X-Men films.
The vision of Pietro from the X-Men films. Not a recast Pietro or a new Pietro. Specifically Pietro from the X-Men movies. Because they want us to make that correlation. Or could be a meta joke to the other Quicksilver, and they're just gonna rip it all away from her. I'm gonna get a little bit to that later, but it's the version from the X-Men films. They don't say the actor from the X-Men films, they say the version of Quicksilver from the X-Men films. How? How is he here, though? How? How is this version of Quicksilver in the MCU? Well, we know that WandaVision will set up Doctor Strange 2 and probably Spider-Man 3. So from what we know, this probably has something to do with the multiverse. I think it's the same Quicksilver from the X-Men Fox movies, because we know that at least 1,000 people are in Wanda's hostage thing, and we don't and probably won't get to see them all, but maybe not everyone in the bubble is from our universe. What if inside that bubble is tons of characters from the multiverse, like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, maybe Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool? What we do know 100% though, not 100%, 90%, is that this is X-Men Quicksilver. That's what I think anyway. Could be just a meta joke. It's either a meta joke or actually Quicksilver from the X-Men films. It's huge though. It is massive, massive stuff. Okay. Personally, I think if they're going to bring these guys in, with the Westview normally. Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool, and Evan Peters Quicksilver, because they were the fan favourites of that little era of X-Men films. Who is the big cameo? Personally, I don't think Evan Peters is the big cameo of the season. It's a little bit early to be the big one. What we know is that it is apparently on par with Mandalorian spoilers. If you haven't watched Mandalorian, I'll give you 5 seconds to get out or skip ahead. It is on par with Luke Skywalker appearing in The Mandalorian, according to Elizabeth Olsen. This could be many people. Doctor Strange, Magneto, Spider-Man, Deadpool. I think it's either Deadpool or this huge shot in the dark. And I'm going to take a huge shot in the dark here and say Mr. Fantastic. Because we see Monica Rambeau say, I know a guy who'd like to take a crack at this. I know a smart man who could take a crack at this. And she's seen texting someone I believe to be Reed Richards. And I swear to God, if it's played by John Krasinski, we have both versions of Jim Halpert from The Office in WandaVision, which is mad. We've got Jimmy Woo, who played the Asian Jim gag in The Office, and actually Jim. That'd be fantastic. I'd love it. It would make sense as the actor Paul Bettany has always wanted to work with. Also, it would make sense Ryan Reynolds to be the guy that Paul Bettany has always wanted to work with. One of the two, but I'm leaning a bit more towards Mr. Fantastic. I'd love to see that. But either way, if Deadpool or Mr. Fantastic shows up, I called it. This is purely wishful thinking, but it's too early to give a definitive 100% certain answer. But if Evan Peters is the big cameo, that's fine by me. And finally, on these WTF questions, what next? Next episode, I think, is the Halloween episode seen in the trailers. This episode is where Vision awakens Agnes, and maybe breaks free from Westview. This will lead us into our big final 3-episode finale that Paul Bettany was talking about. We got a big prediction here. But whatever happens next episode will set up Act 3. There's 3 acts. Act 1 is 1, 2, and 3. Act 2 is 4, 5, and 6. And Act 3 is the grand finale, 7, 8, and 9. Big prediction. Huge theory. Wanda... This is huge. This is like I'm predicting how the show is going to go and end. Wanda is not fully in control of her power. Mephisto is behind it all, and he is draining Wanda of her power so he can use it. He struck a deal with Wanda to create a town and sitcom for her and her dead husband. All she had to do was bring him the body of the Vision. She gets to live in her perfect life and have everything she's ever wanted. Kids, Vision, her brother, and a normal life. But once he has what he wants, or when something goes wrong, he rips away Wanda's kids, her brother, and her husband, or convinces her they're gone again because Sword, because of Sword, when they aren't actually gone, they're still there, which would make more sense. Leaving her broken, lost it all again, and her powers explode, leaving a portal into the multiverse where Westview once was. Basically, or he convinces them they're gone because of Sword, and then she gets really angry with Sword. Even though they're all still alive, the Vision will be back, Evan Peters, Quicksilver will be back, Wiccan, Speed, but she thinks they're all gone, and crumbles into the multiverse pit that Westview then becomes. I think Westview is going to be the portal to the multiverse, which would be really sick. Conclusion, we're here. 15 minutes this video has been. Honestly, that's not bad. I thought we'd be sat here for a lot longer, but no, I've gotten everything I wanted to say out. The first 5 episodes of WandaVision are perfect. Perfect. They're actually perfect. The pacing, mystery, acting, and plot are all fantastic. 10 out of 10. Wow. Nothing so far has been given anything lower than a 10. So far, the whole show is a thing is a 10, but if we're going by episodes, episode 1, 7, episode 2, 7, episode 3, 9, episode 4, 9, episode 5, 9. So altogether, I just round that up to a 10 of the show overall. But yeah, how does that feel, guys? We're back. The Mac in the Box is back, and I'm going to try and upload as much as possible. Fridays and Sundays for these videos. Either way, hello, I'm back. Got a list of planned, and I'm looking forward to being here doing YouTube again. So thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a big fat thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you all in the next one. Adios, my dudes. Catch ya.